Hello everyone, this is Shinobi once again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. Today I'm going to showcase Void Tower Normal using only an Elite team. So it's going to be all Elite team, and as you can see I'm doing this without any Legos or epics. So I'm not going to showcase the entire flow 1 to 100, there's not sufficient time for that. So I'm just going to show you from flow 50 onwards. So this is for flow 50, from here to flow 100. That's all that I'll be showing. So as you can see, I intended to showcase a team that is completely free to play, and new player or a mid-game player can easily finish this off and get that special summons. So that special summoning crystal, at least you can get an epic out of it. But yeah, so it's very easy to do this time, because this time's rotation doesn't have a lot of difficult buffs to overcome. So they get only one buff in Void Tower Normal, and that is if one of your heroes die. At that time the enemies will get plus 20 attack, and which is stackable up to 80%. So it's plus 20% for each hero, maximum up to 80%. That would mean that by that time your team is finished. Yeah, but in any case, it's a good enough for the enemies, and for us it is very good because we are not going to face any other buffs other than that attack up on the enemies, which makes it very easy for us to finish off this flow. All you require is a tanky team to deal slow damage. You can also use speed damage on this, but in elites there's not many that can deal a lot of damage, so it's not worth it. You have to use an epic like Vance out there to deal that extra damage, but I'm using only elites, and you can see I'm using a Charles, which is the MVP of this flow or this entire Void Tower Normal. So you need to have him tanky. He needs high HP, high defense, as he deals extra damage based on his defense. So it's good to have him at very high defense. And you also need him with good focus. I'm using him in a revival set and a broken set, but it doesn't matter if you're not giving him any crit rate or crit damage, because he's there basically to tank the attacks. So he will place his guaranteed taunt using his basic. So I have locked his androgyny skill just so that I can get as many taunts as possible. I'm trying to control the waves over here, taunt as many people as possible, and deal damage based on the defense of Charles. So he is a really good champion. Everybody should have him. You can use him even in Void Tower Hard. So I have these stats that are there on these champions are basically something that you can use in Void Tower Hard. You do not require that in Void Tower Normal. So I have 24,000 HP on my Charles here. That's required for Void Tower Hard. So you can use him with like around 16 or possibly 18,000 HP and around 80 to 100 focus. That's all that is required in Void Tower Normal. Anything higher is an overkill, but yeah, you can use that same gear in Void Tower Hard. So out here among all these champions, it's only Anna and Charles that require Ascension 5 for their trait to be ascended, but the rest of them require only Ascension 2, and you can use them to slowly kill off all the enemies in the Void Tower Normal. So I finished the entire Void Tower Normal up to 100 using these teams. I've also used in certain areas, I've used Rodina and Zarya, because Anna was not able to deal enough damage on them and she was at elemental disadvantage, and that's why I had to change Anna and switch Rodina or Zarya depending upon the flow that is there. But these are the 6 champions you require. So that's Rodina, Anna, Roger, Charles, Rodina and Zarya. All of them are at 60, and for me they are all fully ascended. My Rodina is fully ascended. She's got really good high HP. She doesn't have a lot of focus. You don't need any focus on her. You don't need any crit rate on her. You need some speed, some resistance. Give her as much as possible when it comes to resistance so that she doesn't get taunted or anything like that. But her heals are so good, so niche, you know. Like she can cleanse one person and heal him, and her cleanse is like it cleanses every debuff on that one hero. And so she's really good out here, you know. She's really good. I have used her everywhere. I even tested her, Gemini 12 using her, and I was able to win around 30% of it. So she's a really good healer. Something similar to that of Blackhorn and Mythacia. So you can, even if you have built her, it doesn't matter. She's usable everywhere. And so so that's my healer and cleanser of this composition. And basically, as you can see, Anna, Charles, and Roger, all of them have taunt on them. They are all tanky, and they are able to control the mobs and the enemies, including the bosses. So you don't have to worry about whether you'll be able to use this team at high level or not. You will be able to. When last time I tested my Elite only teams, I was able to go up to level 80 without any problem. So I'll be showcasing that later on when I get to Void Tower Hard. I'll be showcasing the same team in Void Tower Hard as well. But yeah, you do need, in Void Tower Hard, you don't need a better DPSer than Anna. You need at least Vance going on there, because the mobs over there and the bosses over there have got much more higher HP, and they've got much more higher attack, and so it's quite difficult to do it without a good DPSer, and you don't have really good DPSers in Elite. So, but as far as Void Tower Normal is concerned, you don't need any epic or any Legos out here. If you have one, like for your starter champ, you might have pulled Valerie. Good, that's good. You can use her over here, and you don't need anybody else other than her as the main DPSer. You just have to use Charles and Roger and Rodina over here. So you can see it doesn't matter if you have Mythacia standing out there against you. It doesn't matter which team is. She'll heal once, she'll revive everybody once. That's all that she's going to do. And by the time, you know, like Charles and Anna will be able to take control of her, and she will not be able to do anything else much. So yeah, it's an easy team, you know. It's very easy to build, it's very easy to use. Do not try to, you know, match my stats exactly. That's not required at this stage. At whatever normal, you can have a much lower stat than this, than the one that I have to finish it off. And if you're manualing, it's good. You can start with Mythacia, kill her off and do it. I was just doing auto and wanted to showcase that you don't have to do any micromanagement over here. In some cases, in certain areas, you might be required to do a little bit of micromanagement, like at Void Tower 90 and 93, which I'll be showing in this video. You will have to, you know, like select one of the enemies that you want to kill off, just so that you can finish the run faster and easily. In all other areas, I have just used a fully auto team, and I have not bothered to do anything else. They just worked well. Just look at my Roger. He's got like pretty good HP. You don't need this kind of HP. Again, I'm telling you, you don't need it. You just need around 18,000 HP on him. But he does need a lot of HP. Don't bother about his crit rate, but give him a good focus. He needs good focus so that he can place his taunts. And as you can see, I have locked his skills. I'm only using his A1 just so that I can get those taunts as much as possible. And the best thing about him is that when people hit him, he will just, you know, like deal damage based on his max HP. So because he's dealing those extra damage, people who come and hit him are obviously taking more damage, and they might even die off at the time simply by hitting him. So that's why he's so good. He can heal himself up. If I'm not locking his skill, then he will use his special and then, you know, like heal himself up. But I'm not using that. I don't need that at this stage, and I'm not going to manual it, so I'm not bothered about it at this stage. maybe in whatever hard I might be, like doing a lot of manuals instead of auto. And at that time, I might be using a special to give him heal himself up. But right now, Rodina and the heal spell is sufficient for us to get enough heals to deal damage. And so just keep taunting everybody up and ensuring that you are controlling the heroes, the enemy heroes, especially their healers and revivers. Like Black Home is such a pain if you're not able to control him lot. And as I'm using it in auto, you will see that they are always attacking the boss instead of Black Horn. But if you're manualing it, you can go after Black Horn, and that will make things easier for you, because like if you are able to keep taunting him, he will not be able to heal anybody, and at the same time he will himself be killed off. And once he's dead, the run is finished. Basically, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's taking longer over here. It's because I'm doing it in auto and they are all concentrating on Tia instead of concentrating on Blackhorn, and that's why it's taking longer. But if you're hitting Blackhorn in the first go, as soon as you get in there and you start going against Blackhorn, he'll not be healing anybody, and you will be able to like take out this team much faster. But you can look how much damage these guys are dealing, because they don't have any additional buffs on them. They don't have any additional defense, they don't have any additional attack, they don't have any additional heals or any other buffs. And that's why this rotation is so easy to complete with just Elite only team. Maybe next rotation the buffs may be different, and at that time I might have to use some other elites, and I hope that Ace makes some really good elites that are like usable at end game as well. Out in among these elite teams, elite champions, only Charles, Roger and Rodina are literally end game. Anna is not that good at end game, but yeah, she's got her own uses, like she can also deal a lot of damage, and she can also sustain herself, and that's why she's really good. But you don't need her in end game at this moment. So that finishes off floor 80, and this is my Anna over here. She's got 100% crit rate. I wanted her to deal good damage, and she's got sufficient enough focus for Void Tower normal. You do need something around 80 to 90 focus so that she can deal her taunts, and you do need some speed on her, but basically she's got only like around 13 to 15,000. She's got like only 13,000 HP, and that's enough. I gave her a Rebel set just so that I can get some additional CC on the mobs, but you don't need her on a Rebel set if you have got a Terra set, or because she deals extra damage based on her max HP, and you want to increase her HP, give her a Terra set or a Revival set, and yeah, that's sufficient. That's enough. But you do need to give her high focus and high crit rate to ensure that she's able to deal those damage. And literally I'm not able to use her much higher. Once I get to stage 93 and above, she's of no use here. So, and that's why I had to switch to Rarke. But up to stage 80, stage 90, the beginning of stage 90, she's good. She will be able to take you up to there without any problem. But if you do not want to build her and waste your time or resources building her, you should like build Rarke. Like in stage 90, I used Rarke instead of Anna, and that's because you have got Brand over here, you got Thomas over here, and you got Asrina and Anna and Rodina and Roger. All of them were like was weak affinity, so I used Rarke instead, as Rarke is a strong affinity. He's got his own sustain, he heals himself up when somebody hits him, he's got taunt, he's got bleeds, and he hits quite hard, and so I used him, and I was able to finish this off very easily using Rarke. So Anna is to be used only up to floor 80. So keeping that in mind, if you do not want to build her, you want to finish this floor, don't build her, use Rarke. You build Rarke and he will be able to take the place of Anna as he too has got the similar kind of abilities, and he has got much better sustain than Anna has. So you can start using him instead of Anna right from the beginning. But you cannot replace Charles. You cannot replace Rodina. Rodina is the only good elite healer. You can use Joseph as well, but Joseph does not have the same kind of heals and claims like Rodina. He's got a different mechanic. But if you do not have Rodina, you haven't built her, and you have built Joseph, you can use him. But that will be like a manual team, and it's going to take a little bit of micromanagement to finish the flow. But with Rodina over here, you don't have to worry about all those stuff. And Rauke is also such a good champion. He was so good out here. You can see the kind of damage he was dealing when he was hitting all these enemies. Look at him. He just like literally almost finished Thomas off. So that's why I think that this rotation, it's much more easier for free-to-play players and for new players, and for like those early mid-game players to finish at least the Void Tower normal. As I'll be doing Void Tower hard later on, I'll be able to make more videos and give more guidance on how to finish off Void Tower hard. But for normal, if you have the 6 champions that I'm showcasing, that's good. That's all that you require. So you can see my Zachary over here. I used him in floor 93 because I wanted some other DPSer to deal enough damage, as it was you had Valerie in that flow, and it was pretty difficult for me to deal enough damage with Roger and with Anna. So I was using Zachary over here, and he's in a curse set. He's got 100% crit rate, and he doesn't have a lot of HP out here. And you don't need that high-end HP this time. So anything above 13,000 would be more than enough for you to, survive. So don't worry about, having a lot of HP. Or what will I do? I don't have enough HP. My team or my hero will not survive. No. Don't worry. You just need around 13 to 14,000 HP on your DPS. 12,000 HP will also be enough if you have Rodina as your healer, and Zachary was able to take down floor 95. So that's the team that I used. I did not use Roger because he wasn't able to deal enough damage to out damage. You have the worst, the arena's bane. This guy over here, he just soaks up all the damage for everybody. And Roger was not able to deal enough damage for me, so I chose Zachary instead of Roger, so that he can deal enough damage. And I tried to keep it in auto, but that Marianne was able to heal all of them up, and I was not able to get enough damage on everybody. And so I decided to do a bit of micromanagement. I started doing it with Val, but Val was not good enough for me, so I decided to went after Brutus over there, and he was constantly soaking up those additional damage and would not allow Val to die, and so I had to get him off first. So in 93 you will have to do a bit of micromanagement, but it's basically an auto. You just have to click on instead of Val, you should just choose what's his name? Yeah, Bruzak. Just choose him at get-go and get him out of the picture as soon as you get there, and that's all that you require to do in floor 93. And I was showing this because this is the bottleneck. This is the bottleneck in whatever normal. This is where if you're using only elites, this is the bottleneck. And so you have to get Bruzak out of the picture as soon as possible. Once you get Bruzak out of the picture, the floor will be easy for you to finish, as Marian and Blackhorn will not be able to out heal your damage. So you can see I kept going after Val, and she wouldn't die just because of Bruzak. And he was he's such a bruiser, he just soaks up all the damage. And so finally I decided, no, I have had enough. I must go after Bruzak, and I couldn't get her out. So But I did not lose this, it's just that I was not able to finish her off. It was so difficult just trying to get that only DPS out of there, and with Blackhorn's heal and Bruzak's passive, it was so difficult to beat them. So I decided, okay, fine, it's not enough. It's not enough for me to go after Val. Val would be, yeah, it's easy to finish off Val as she does. She's not a very tanky person. She will easily die off. But the only problem is Bruzak would not allow her to die. He just soaks up all the damage, and so yeah. So if you're using a non-DPS team, or if you're using a Elite only team, and you have reached floor 93, don't go after Val in the first goes. Just go after Bruzak. See, at this moment I selected Bruzak, and then the floor was finished easily. So Zachary is the one who was dealing more damage over here, and you have Zachary, and you have got Rorke over there, and these two were able to finish that off for me. So Rorke is really good because he will sustain himself up so easily. You can see my Zachary has got only around 12 to 13,000 HP, and he still survived the entire run. The enemy were not able to beat him up. That's because of this floor doesn't have any buff at the moment. None of the enemies have any buff, as none of my champions are dead. So you just simply have to keep using an Elite only team, and you'll be able to, finish this floor off easily, this entire run. So you can see my Rocket here. He is a special kind of champion with his passive, like when he takes damage, he heals himself up, and if the enemy's damage is not able to out damage his heals, he'll just survive. I gave him the same set that I gave to Anna. He's got enough focus, he's got bleeds on himself, he can just place bleeds on the enemy, and he can also taunt the enemy. I did not lock his skills. You don't have to lock his and Rodina's skill, but you can lock off Roger and Charles. So in floor 100 I used them again, and they worked fine, they worked wonderfully well. So it's easy. In floor 100 I used Roger, Rodina, Charles, and I think Zachary, and yeah, they all were like did a very good job out there with their heals, and with Rodina's heals, and with Rauke's self-healing. It's easy. It's really easy to finish off this floor and this entire tower this time. So if you do not have really good champions, don't worry. Just use this Elite only team and you'll be able to finish them. You don't have to A6 them. So the only people you have to A5 is Charles and Anna. And if you do not want to build Anna, don't build Anna. Just go and build Rorke. You don't even have to build Zachary. But you do need him in floor, as I said, in floor 93. You will require him, as you have got a lot of heals out there, and you also have got Bruzak out there. So if you have two DPSs, it will be much better. So you can build your Zachary and your Rorke. So I would say you need at least 5 of these Elites. If you have 5 of these Elites, this floor is much easier for you. Don't have to worry about those crazed Zag over there. We don't care about crazed Zag as long as we have Rodina. In this run, when I was doing it, I did lose my Rodina almost at the end because I wasn't micromanaging. I wasn't like, trying to think who I should be hitting. I think, like, if you start this the boss stage, the boss wave on this floor in floor 100, if you start by hitting Urzak and get him out of the picture and see to it that CC is not there, or you can start with CC, take out CC first. If you finish off CC, then the runs will be much more easier for you. You have to see who CC is latching herself onto, right? If she's latching onto Urzak, then don't go after him. So just go after the one that doesn't have CC on him. So yeah, so when CC was locked to William, I started going after Urzag. I was like, okay, I've taken too much of time, and my Rodina is also like pretty low in health. Why not just clear off Urzag? Once I get Urzag out of the picture, then I can go after the others. But I should have started with CC, and if I had started with CC, it would have been much more easier for me. The flow would have been finished much more faster. But yeah, but it doesn't matter. Since my Charles and my Roger are in revival set, I do not need any heals over here. But at the same time, I prefer to have kept my Rodina alive. If I had managed it, if I had manualed it, I would have kept my Rodina alive. But since I was doing auto, I was like only looking at anyone or anyone to hit. That would be like easier for me to finish off. And yeah, so basically I only finished off Urzag by actually selecting him. Otherwise you don't need to do anything in these floors, just do auto and you can still finish off. So this is floor 100, and I'm easily able to finish them off. Yeah, of course, as soon as CC got herself detached from Jacob, I targeted CC instead of Jacob, because she will just she'll only be unattached for one round, and if she gets attached to Jacob, he just keeps getting healed in, and I don't want that to happen. So as soon as she got detached, I started targeting her, because that's the only thing that I had to do to micromanage this flow. She's a real pain because she's got such a high HP, and she can heal herself, and she can heal the one who's attached to whom she's attached to. It's better to finish her off. So it's up to you. Depending upon your team, you can choose who you want to hit, but I would recommend hitting CC first, finish her off, and then finish off Urzag, because Urzag will remove your buffs and also like place block heals on you. So instead of that, just finish off CC first and then Urzag. So this is the entire runs that I did. I hope you liked my video. I hope you learned something, or you enjoyed the fact that you can finish off Void Tower normal using only epics. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon with Void Tower hard videos. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. So peace, blessing and love to all of you. Yep, it is great to see all those rewards. It's good, it's free, and every free-to-play player can get those. So just take it. Just use the team. Just use those 5 champions and get those rewards. Right? Bye then. You have a good time.